Hi folks, I hope it's coming through. This is all new territory for me. Yeah, I see Cheesehead. Oh, Leverguns 5110 WCF. Hi, Cheesehead. I'm only showing up if there's going to be bacon. Alright folks, I am jumping back and forth. This is my first try on OBS, and I haven't a clue how it's going to work. So if you can give me some feedback on how the stream's going, everything on this end seems to be working okay. So, any input I can get from you guys would really help. This is like I said, this is literally my maiden voyage on OBS. I haven't a clue what I'm doing. I've watched. I still look kind of ugly. Well, that's good. Yeah. I called for makeup, and makeup didn't show up for work today. They're kind of like Cheesehead. They show up when they want to. So, yeah, you have to put up with my ugly mug. This is really unusual for me to be using OBS. Using YouTube's direct live streaming is just boom, you're there and on you go, and you just use the chat and blah blah blah. And this OBS, getting used to moving around in it, making sure that everything's working, yeah, there's a little extra effort. I'm trying to get things so that I can keep my, I don't know how you put it, be able to look at my YouTube side of it at one look, and then so Cheesehead, great. You're saying otherwise sounds and looks good on your side. That makes me feel a little bit better. One thing I noticed with OBS is everything's delayed. Now all the videos that I watched on how to set it up and how it works and what to expect, I saw the same thing, where a person was doing a video of them using OBS, and OBS was delayed and then delayed a little more over on the YouTube side. So getting used to that and knowing that it's not 100% real time. It seems like the chat is, but the video side on my end isn't. So yeah, and I'm gonna tweak as I go. It's gonna be a little unusual. Bouncing back and forth. I see that currently we got 3 people watching, and that's good. Yeah, I really had to do a lot of tinkering to get this thing working. I've been spending a month and a half, at least a month and a half, just setting this dang thing up. And like this banner up here, I finally figured out how to throw one of them on there. and how to do certain transitions. And then I got myself to the point where I thought, oh, it's mastered now. And I did a, oh, if I have any questions, ask Dark Matter. Yeah, Dark, he does an awful lot of stuff on OBS. But yeah, I got it all set up, and everybody I talked to, everyone said, run a couple of private streams and see how they turn out, to see if everything on the playback looks good. And yeah, they all look good. And then I thought, I'll do one more before I do this tonight. And I did that one, and doggone audio output was cutting out on me. I'd be yakking away at the screen, and next thing I'd know, there's no audio. There'd be background music, but there'd be no voice audio at all. My microphone wasn't picking anything up. So what I did was I had to go back in, delete all my audio input captures, and reload every single one of them for all of my different scenes and cuts. And then I ran another one, and it was working. So I figured, well, bite the bullet, buddy. Just go for it, and throw the stream up and cross my fingers and knock on wood that it would kick out the audio. And I can see now on the mixer on my OBS, the audio is functioning. It's working like it should. At least it says it is. And yeah, I see that. Yeah, we still got 3 people in here. I'm gonna let this thing run for a while. I got no plans tonight. I go to work tomorrow. And I do have a stream scheduled for Saturday night. So I will be doing a live stream Saturday night, and I was hoping to be able to use OBS for that stream. And then after that one, I will be going to the following Saturday will be the next live stream. That live stream then will be followed the very next day on the Sunday with the very first Sty Story Sunday. So I was hoping I could get this thing working well enough that I could use it for those streams and start getting some of the bugs out of this before I actually retire after next week. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, Cheesehead, is retire. Kind of like putting new tires on a car. Retreads. Get retired. So, let's look here. Take a look at the YouTube side. Says it's got an excellent connection, which is good. I hope it stays that way. See, if things go wrong while you're using OBS, it's a nightmare. There's so many different things you might have to jump around in. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I have been for a while now. Well, Cheesehead, I'm glad that you're messaging on the chat, because I can see how fast this responds to stuff. Right now the house is so crowded with I think we got still have three. Yeah, we still have three people in the house, so it's so crowded I can hardly keep up with that chat. Well, okay, foraging and adventures, Thack. Hey, I am assuming it's you, Thack. Thack says, hello, sir. Can't stay. My mom is in town, but wanted to show you support. Well, thank you, Thack. This is my very first attempt at OBS. So, this is all brand new, virgin ground for me. This is my virgin voyage, you know. This is it. And I'm glad you showed up to show a little support. Thanks a lot there, A-OK. Ask me a question, I'll answer it as fast as I can. What was the first place you and I met each other in person? Yeah, Thack, it's Open Broadcasting System. It's a software that you can use for live streaming. You can plug in like this banner I got going across the top. If you can see it there, it says, welcome to the Sty Shack. Yes, Cheesehead, the Shack. Yeah, that come back pretty quick. Thanks. I wasn't even looking over here at the chat, Cheesehead, so I was probably several seconds late at reading that back to you. Yeah. So it's working fast enough. That's good. So, yeah, Thack, OBS, I can give you, you can transition a lot of things. You can do all kinds of stuff with your video or your live streams. Like, see, now I transitioned over and I think I lost the audio. So, I'm still having a lot of trouble with that, with the darn audio. Yeah, about 25 seconds. Yeah, I'd say 15 to 25 seconds, give or take. See, OBS is recording this and it's sending it to YouTube, and then YouTube streaming it out. So there is somewhat of a delay. So when I see the chat, there's a little bit of delay. So I'll have to let folks know that, you know, I'm not ignoring them. It's just there's a little bit of a delay between that. I'm trying to figure out for the life of me these transitions. I'm going to try another one. You might lose the audio for a second, but if we do, I'll jump back. Well, no, that transition worked fine. You notice we lost the top banner, and now I've got a banner going across the bottom. That one worked fine, but I'm going to jump back to this top banner, and I think I'm going to lose my audio on it. Yeah, I think I lost the audio on that top banner. And one thing I don't like is when I transition, I lose my chat on the side. Oh, I gotta get used to this thing. The chat over here on the side, I lose, but I'm looking at it because I can embed the chat into my screen. I can actually get it so it's embedded in my screen, and you folks would be able to see what I'm seeing. Basically, you're seeing my chat screen. So I'm working on that too, is so that I can embed the chat over here, and you folks will be able to see what I see when I see it. And then I'm sure you will see the delay. You will see the delay. But yeah, I've been playing with this thing, trying to, you know, plug in some little clips and stuff, you know, just to see how this thing works. Like that. There you go. One of my favorite waterfalls up here. Throw that in there. When someone says a bad word or something, I can say, well, that's just water over the falls. Then I can zip back to just without it. And then, let's see here. Oh boy, yeah, this is really something. Getting used to this. And then, for guys like Andy, evening all, better later than never. Hey, you're not missing a lot, Andy, because like I said, this is a surprise stream because this is Sty's first attempt at using OBS. I open broadcasting software or system, whatever it means, and it's been a nightmare. Sty is as dumb as a stump when it comes to this techie stuff, but I got it going, I think, well enough that I can do streams with it. It'll get better with time. Right now I'm just playing with some transitions. I was going to say, this one's I saved for Cheesehead Chris when he came in the house, but I didn't have it on cue at the time, and I'm going to give it a shot now. Well, there he is. There's Cheesehead. I see he's got his in the house. Don't worry, Cheesehead. I'm not just making fun of you. I got one to make fun of myself with, too. You know what? And there's Cheesehead again. And I'll jump right back into... I've got one, this one. I don't think you could hear me on that last transition because the audio mixer wasn't picking up. I could see that it wasn't. So I'm going to have to tinker with that a bit too. That's where I'm having my biggest problems right now, is with that audio mixer. Oh my gosh, we got Gary Irwin's in the house. It's so good to see you, Gary. Bill 56 HT2DR saying, Sty North, hi, what a great background. Well, thank you. It's my favorite background. I'm, like I'm telling everybody, my first go at OBS, don't have a clue what I'm... Yeah, no sound on the top scroll and the video of me. No, you didn't have any audio, no voice sound on me crashing in the chair, huh? I'm gonna go back to crashing in the chair and take a quick peek and see if my input capture is working at all. Nope. So, falling on my butt, I'm assuming that the background music's working because that's showing up in OBS that that's working, but it's not showing the voice audio. And you wouldn't believe how many times I've been in this thing today alone, tinkering with those audio settings. You put them in, they work just fine. You run a test stream, and during the stream, all of a sudden you'll see those audio input captures just boom, gone. Where they go, I don't know. Why I lose those under certain scenes, and other ones hold them without a problem. So, yeah, it's gonna take some tinkering to get that squared away. When I play my video, no background music. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to tinker with it. if you have trouble with your OBS, use a piece of OSB. Board that sucker up. Yeah. Well, I was gonna title this first OBS stream OH, BS. Everybody, I watch all these other streamers that use OBS, and it looks like they're not having any troubles at all. Once in a while, they'll have a little glitch or something, and they're just loving it, and they're saying, oh, it's so easy to use, all you gotta do this, and you gotta do that, and it works just fine. And yeah, I say, oh, BS. I tell you what. Well, here's one of the problems is most of these guys doing these streams, for one thing, they got time to put into it. Another thing is they don't have an outdoorsman frame of mind. You don't know how many times I was ready to take a hatchet or a machete to this stinking machine. Get my ferro rod out and strike a few sparks and let's just burn it to the ground. Yeah, OBS could be OBS. If there's going to be one scene that's going to work good, it's going to be the one that's got this banner going on here. There's old Sty. He got OBS running, and right away he's asking for money. No, not really. No. Don't anybody ever feel obligated to do that. But this is the one that's working tonight. So, Rolling Homestead and Wild Edibles. Oh, that's great to see ya. Another Wisconsinite. Yeah. Boy, it's great to see you. It's a shame that I'm getting folks that a lot of times can't catch my streams, and here I am testing out OBS and hoping that I can get something. Let's get something across here. Only as smart as the guy pushing the buttons. Yeah, that's because that comment comes from Chris because he's a smart. isn't he? Thanks, Andy. You tell him. Real money. I could send him some real money. I think I got some Jamaican coins. I think I got some pesos. In fact, somewhere in my stuff, if I dig deep enough, I even have a couple of Russian rubles. That's how I should pay you there, Cheesehead, is in rubles. Rolling Homestead says, I'm on my way to work, can't stay long. Yeah, I know you use OBS, and boy, your streams are good. I like them. They're really good. You're getting that down pat. I mean, down pat. And yeah, maybe sometime I'll have to have a chat with you about some of the issues I'm having. Cheesehead says he'll settle for bacon. Well, doggone it, Cheesehead. The last 2 days have been so spring-like that I'm thinking that, I'm thinking I better, there we go. I'm thinking I better be careful what I'm doing. I'm dropping my mouse. That's one thing with the cordless mouse, is that it gets away from me. Oh, cooking bacon and maple syrup instead of oil or fat. See, when I make jerky, whether it be beef or venison jerky, elk jerky, doesn't matter. When I make jerky, I always make a batch of kind of salty, peppery, old-fashioned jerky. And I always make another batch that I've marinated in actual real maple syrup with a few spices. Now, the maple syrup jerky, people go nuts over. They go absolutely nuts over it. And I was amazed at how well the maple syrup jerky keeps. I thought, well, you know, it might go rancid, I don't know. No, it does. There's so much natural sugar in that maple syrup, and you're patting it dry before you actually jerk it. So when it's done, it's just like any other jerky, except it's got a sweet background taste to it, sweet maple background taste. It's excellent. I can see cooking bacon in maple syrup. I put it on my plate with my pancakes and smother it in syrup anyway. I'm dipping my bacon in the syrup. But yeah, I don't know. You know, as I'm looking at this whole OBS thing, yeah, this is, it needs, it's got some issues. There's a few things I do like about it, and there's a few things I don't like about it. There's a little more management on my end. I look at, I jump back and forth. I look at the YouTube stream side of it, and the video quality's pretty good. But on the OBS side, it's almost pixely. It's not that good. But on the YouTube side, it looks really good. So it's odd. Someone told me to keep a close eye on my CPU usage on my machine and how many frames per second it's putting out. Well, it's steadily putting out 30 frames per second. It's staying right there. CPU usage, the peak that I got on here was about 36%. But it seems to be running at about 29 to 30% on my CPU. So it's not putting too big of a burden on the system. Oh yeah, it does sound like a good way to prepare a ham. Andy says a big hammer always helps. Maybe not the computer, but certainly your frustrations. Yeah. All else fails, get a bigger hammer. Oh, lordy. I think once in a while I'll be jumping back and forth between OBS and the old streaming method. It all depends. And that'll at times depend on if I'm really pushing the clock. I don't have time to get my OBS set up and ready to go. Then I'll just do a conventional stream without all of the extras going on. But eventually it'll be just straight OBS, I'm sure. See, I wasn't too sure if I was going to pick up any viewers tonight or not, because first of all, it wasn't planned. It wasn't planned at all. I've been kind of watching my channel's performance lately, and it's really been taking kind of a hit, kind of a nosedive. The views are down. Watch time is staying right there. It's kind of stable. So if the watch time at least stays about where it's at, everything will be good. The number of views have dropped considerably. I thought the number of views were going to go up. Doing 2 videos a week, I thought the views per video were going to go up. But actually the views per video have gone down compared to when I was putting them up one every single day. I don't want to go back to that one a day schedule because it takes just so much time. And with this weather the way it's been going, it's not, and I retire at the end of next week, it's not, I'm not going to have that kind of time. I'm pretty confident though that once I get out and I start doing the outdoor videos, just based on content, my views are going to start climbing again quite a bit. I've got all my regulars, boy, they're just like clockwork, boy. It's like I said, I might not have a ton of subscribers. I may not get a ton of views on my videos, but boy, I got the best people. I got the best people coming to my channel. Okay, Andy says bear with me because I'm not looking over at the chat very often. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to get used to how I got this laid out. It's too easy for me to not look at the chat. But Andy says most of the kids in the world ain't planned. But there's more than enough of them, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right, Chris. Hey, Cheesehead, I went back today and watched those two videos that you and I did together. The one out at Dynamite Shack and the other one at the CC camp. And I enjoyed every minute of it. And one of them's got a ton of views. The other one's got an average amount of views. And I love them. I love those two videos. That was a great time. And it reflected that in the videos. We had fun. Those were fun, 2 fun days. And that's, you're right. That's what it's all about. Is it what you want to do? And that's, with your videos that you did, Chris, every one of those, I could tell when you were just loving it. You're just, the video was coming in second place to your pleasure in doing what you were doing. So, and that's, I think that's, and that does come across though eventually. It's really about exposure, you know. People can't watch you if they don't know you're there. They can't watch you if they don't see you. And one thing I did notice though is that my tags, I'm tweaking my tags on my videos, and so I'm getting, and I've got 2 buddies so I can watch and see the specs on how my videos are rating with other basically like type videos, and it's getting better. The ratings are getting better. So I think I just have to do what I said in this morning's video. Hurry up and slow down and get, you know, I just relax. I'm not going to get myself stressed out over this, mainly because I'm not doing this for the money. If I was doing this for the money, if I didn't have my retirement, oh, you'd be looking at one skinny Sty sitting here starving to death. I'd be eating bologna, but it'd only be once a week. You ain't making no money on this YouTube stuff. But anything I do make, it helps me improve the content to my channel. So that's all it's there for. And we do have to do it again, Chris. Yeah, I say it all the time. Oh, we got to do it again. This summer, buddy, we're going to do it a few times this summer. Come, hell or high water. Andy says, let me re-clear the credit card and I'll nip over the ditch and come annoy you both. Hey, Andy, I know it's a long swim, but you're welcome anytime, buddy. You're welcome anytime. I'd like to show you around our country a little bit, our neck of the woods. Do some cooking out, hanging out in the woods. That'd be fun. That'd be a blast. We'd give you the grand tour, wouldn't we, Chris? I know how that is, Andy. Yeah, he says, was almost clear the other week. Then I fell in lust with a guitar. And hey, presto, it's bent in two again. I know what you mean. I could sorely afford to go get a Big Mac, let alone make any big purchases. And just a hair over a month ago, I was saying, nah, you just don't be spending any more money, Sty. You just gotta stop that. You're gonna be on a fixed income, behave yourself. Well, I went out and bought a brand new tonneau cover for my truck. Well, that cost me a couple $100 bills for that. And then I went and I bought this really neat tent that goes on a pickup box. It's a really neat dome tent. Well, that was a couple more bills. And then I found a really nice metal detector that I picked up, and that was about 3 bills there. And all of a sudden I said, uh-oh. It don't take long when you start doing that crap. You're going, well, that's $1,000. That's another 1,800. That's $2,000. That's baloney for the rest of the month. And yeah, fishing. Yes. There's one particular lake that I'm looking at that I just go, I can't wait to get in there. I got a new hammock. It's never been used. I want to take that hammock out there, and I'm going to set myself up a camp right on the shoreline, and I'm going to fish that lake. It's got panfish, bass, walleyes, and northerns in it. And Sty's going to just hang out there for a couple of days, get his line wet. Speaking of which, Cheesehead, I was looking at the DNR reports on the lakes the other day, and I was looking at Camp Smith Lake down there by the CC camp. All they list are trout in that lake. Is that true? Is that all they got in that lake is trout? Let me know. Because if that's all they got in that lake, well then doggone it, I gotta get my inland trout stamp. Because I'd like to go down there by the CC camp and just do an overnighter and walk down to the lake and fish a little bit. But if it's got nothing but trout in it, you know, Star Lake west of Drummond, boy, that's familiar. Boy, that's familiar. I'll have to look that one up. Is that lake surrounded by public land, or is that all surrounded by private land? And what's it got in it? I should have bought a hamburger detector. Gary. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, Andy's getting a new hammock too. Hey, awesome, Andy. My boy got me. My oldest boy, Running Water. He got me a hammock. He got 2 of them, and he gifted one over my way. That was pretty sweet of him. Oh, they used to stock it every year. That, yeah, because when we were there, you were showing me, it's not easy getting down into the lake, so I'm sure it doesn't get a lot of heavy traffic. And that lake looks like it could support a decent fish population. So yeah, I better get my inland trout stamp, and I'll have to try that lake when I come down and visit you sometime. And I'll have to look at Star Lake again. Boy, that's familiar. Boy, I used to fish all them little lakes down there, all around Cable, Drummond, Grandview, Sealy, all the way down to Hayward. But boy, it's been years. It's been years since I fished them. Plenty of thin, pointy sticks to mount the better ones on it. Yeah. Yeah. I pack in a frying pan if I plan on spending the night. Gavin D. Nice of you to stop in. Very nice of you. Oh, Chris, it was froze out. Smith Lake was froze out? Oh. I wish I could remember the make of that hammock that I got from the boy. I see you got one from Wise Owl. So yeah, I'm not sure what the make is of the one that I got. He set his up, and I went over and tried it out. It's nice. You can do a full wrap over it. It's a considered a double hammock, you know, and so I don't have to worry about skeeter net. I don't have much trouble with skeeters anyway. Cheesehead says, okay, gotta go. The wife just asked what I'm making for supper. What aren't you making for supper? Everything in the fridge, Chris says. Hey, Chris, have a good one, buddy. Thanks for tagging along on this unusual stream. This one's not going to go too much longer. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. We're in it for 50 minutes. I'm going to go a little over an hour, and we'll see where it goes from there. Gavin D. Byron. Huh? Hi, Sean Carl. Good to see you. Okay, for folks that have jumped on that weren't here earlier, this is Sty's first attempt at using OBS, and I've got some issues with it yet, but I'll be working it out. It's going to take a little bit, but we'll get it worked out. For the maiden voyage, I'm not complaining too much. It seems to be going out okay. Right now, the way it's going, I can live with this. I really don't see that the problems are going to be such that I can't use OBS. But, yeah, once I get all of the bugs out of the system, it'll be much better. Andy says my hammock is supposed to be rated to 400 pounds this time. Lost one. I only got to climb into it for a few seconds before the middle gave out. hey, yeah, there's no sound to go with this. But I know what it is when you have the middle go out of something. As you could see. Yeah. When the middle goes out, it goes out. At least the ground's there to catch us, you know. And the OBS equals old buggers streaming. Yeah. Bunch of old buggers sitting around streaming. You know, and I look at the demographics of the people that are in my streams. Some of the ones that we had quite a few people, and they run anywhere from 10 years old all the way up to 110. But us old buggers, I think we kind of rule the roost. And then we got the ladies that sit in the background and watch what they're doing. What are them old farts talking about? Gavin says, you ought to put a Confederate flag on that hat of yours. Oh, in today's day and age, yeah, be putting a target on my beaner. The neck of the woods that I live in, and we don't go there. We don't get into deep politics or religion on Sty's in the Sty Shack. We just don't go there, because if we start going there, well, then we got to crack out the Jack Daniels and the vodka so that Sty can have some tea. So we don't go there. but where I live, we have a very strong liberal college here, and most of it is natural studies, biology, and it's all got to do with conservation, but geared towards conservation that involves keeping us old buggers out of the woods. These people don't like us old buggers that want to be out in the woods. And I always tell them, more power to you. I said, us old buggers will die off sooner or later. I don't tell them that I'm teaching young folks to be like this old bugger, though. That backcountry's for all of us to enjoy. And you have half. Oh, Sean. Oh, wait a minute. Sean Carl says, I just got a hammock double. Yes, sir. Everybody's getting hammock. Yeah, now you know it's a bunch of old buggers. We're all getting hammocks. We're going, I ain't sleeping on that ground no more. I just ordered a really nice single air mattress that'll fit in the short bed of my truck, because I got that new box mounted dome tent for my truck, and I've had a couple of my kids say, well, why don't you just throw a couple of camp pads down and use those? I said, because I'm getting old. I all my younger years, I had something to prove. I can prove to you I'd sleep on that old that old truck bed. I'll lay right on that metal bed. Not no more. If I laid on that metal bed, well, they'd be putting me in a pine box. Andy says, come on, Sty, you can't let the do-gooders and pathetic people rule what you want to wear, mate. Yeah, no. Well, see, that's the thing, though, is Sty wouldn't be shy if somebody didn't like something that I had, that I wore. Oh, I get it all the time with my NRA gear, I get, oh, the NRA, you're a member of that dang NRA, you're one of them gun lovers, aren't you? I said, no, I'm not a gun lover. I didn't never once did I ever say I was a gun lover. If I want to curl up with something, I want it to be warm and breathing. I'm not a gun lover. I'm a life lover. Why do you think I pack? I don't pack because I'm a gun lover. I pack because I love my life and I'm going to keep it. And if you don't like something about me, that's fine. I don't have a problem with you not liking something about me. But boy, oh boy, don't put yourself off on me. Don't tread on my rights. And I expect people to treat other people that way too. Do not tread on other people's rights. There. Sty's done preaching. Pass the offering plate. Yeah, Confederate flag on the hat and Leonard Skinner playing in the background. Copyright infringement. There goes my monetization. Oh, I tell you what, there's some music I'd love to be playing in the background. Yeah, they wouldn't let me get away with it. Gavin, peace to you too, brother. And he says, as a kid where I used to camp along the estuary here, I would cut down a huge swath of reeds and they would form a layer about 3 inches deep under the tent. Man, was that ever comfy. Oh, I know what you're talking there. Oh, I got a good butt chewing by some timber huggers. They come across me and I had, off of about 20 different trees, I had gathered some boughs off of cedar trees. Now up here, they just don't touch the cedar. Don't even look at the cedar. You stay away from the cedar. Ah, geez. I know where there's some beautiful stands of cedar that nobody's ever going to cut them. But to gather a few boughs off them isn't going to hurt them. But those cedar boughs under my sleeping bag, oh yeah, throw up a nice tarp shelter and put down a bed of cedar boughs and roll my bedroll out on it and smell that cedar all night. Oh, Lordy. Oh, I miss it. I miss it. I might have to do that at least once this summer. Andy says, gun lover? No, I just like something other than harsh words to scare off the bears. Uh-huh. Yeah, that too. Uh-huh. I used to carry a Mossberg Model 500 short shotgun, 12 gauge, with me all the time when I was packing in the backwoods around here, especially spring and late fall. That's when the bears are the most active and most likely to be running into you and not being terribly scared of you. Spring bears right now, we've got bears out all over the place up here right now. A lot of black bear running around. And they're hungry, dang hungry. So if you're camping up here, they're sniffing out your camp and they're looking for any kind of goodies you got. So you don't want to go out there with a little bit of iron with you. You know, all of these bear lovers, and yeah, you just need bear spray at the most. But really all you got to do is yell at them, scare them off. Yeah, tell the one that's chewing on your leg that, the one that just didn't, that likes pepper on his person when he's eating them, and the one that couldn't give a darn whether you were yelling or not. He'll just make you yell a little more. He likes his dinner a little loud. Yeah, those are the ones that if you're not packing some iron with you, yeah, you asked for it. Joe Cook, hey. Joe, I'm going to let you know, just like I let everybody else know, this is my first attempt at using OBS to do a live stream. And so far it's going fairly well. I have some transition stuff. I played with it earlier, and some of my stuff, the audio's not working. I'm having a lot of issues with capturing my audio input on some of my scenes. I'll get it figured out and fixed. I spent almost all day today just to get it set up where it's at, and it still has at least 2 transition screens that aren't working. I'll show you guys real quick. This is supposed to be my startup screen, and it doesn't have any audio input. Oh, make a liar out of me. make a liar out of me. Now, doggone it, OBS is showing in the mixer here that I've got audio input capture, which means that you're hearing me. And I've got my top banner welcoming you to the Sty Shack. So that's good, but it wasn't good when I started out. There was no sound. There was no sound. Let's see, I'm going to get caught up just a little bit here on this chat. Andy says, get hung by the bird watchers these days for the same, Sean. Oh yeah. Oh, I had some bird watchers told me that I need to be quieter when I'm walking through the woods because I'm destroying their nature experience. I said, no. I said it was being noisy coming through the woods because there's been a bear around this neck of the woods for the last 2 weeks, and I don't want him coming across me. I want him to know that I'm coming through. And I said, plus, look at all the birds I scared up for you. He said, didn't you see them? You're the bird watchers. Oh, they just didn't like that. They basically told me, get the hell out of the woods. So I just went deeper into the woods. And let's see, Andy says, tree huggers, 2 or 3 multinational words which kind of tell them where to go and what to do. Isn't that true? And because of YouTube and because I have a young audience a lot of times, those multinational words are on the blocked word list, so if we type them into a chat comment, they'll be flagged and stopped, and they'll be hidden comments. So I like how you put that, because we all know what you mean, especially us old buggers. And Joe Cook says, what are we talking about tonight? This is it, Joe. This is a random, this is literally, what it says is a Sty surprise stream. Surprise! Sty's streaming, and he didn't even have a topic tonight. All he had was a mission, and that was to see if OBS was going to work. I've got plans of plugging things in OBS and notifications and things. But one thing I'm not going to do with my streams that you see in so many others, and that's all these graphics. I mean, oh my gosh, I watched some of these streams and I'm going, I watched one the other day where I could see the fella's head. It's just like the tip of my finger here. See his head. That's about all you saw. And he had it downsized about the size of a thumbnail. And it was just all you could see. His head moving around. And he's chatting away. And all the rest of his screen was all these things going on. And notifications and posts and stuff. And I found that I wasn't listening to him anymore. I was watching his stuff. I ain't not going there. If you don't want to listen to me, go to one of them channels, and you can watch all that graphics and stuff they put up there. Sty ain't doing it. He's technically challenged. I don't feel challenged when I'm in the outdoors. It can get nasty, the worst conditions you could ever imagine. Sty start laughing. You go, oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. We can handle this. There's no problem. I got some solutions to these issues. Put me on this OBS stuff, and it's like I said earlier, I was going to title this stream O, spelled O-H with a comma, BS. Oh, BS is right. This is BS. OBS is great software, but it is not as user-friendly as people play it out to be. And when they say, oh no, I never had any of those kind of issues or problems and this and that. Oh, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I've been spent a month and a half I've been messing with this stuff just to get to this one stream. OBS. And Andy says, don't feel bad about something not really working for you when live, Sty. The TV company's been airing live for decades, and they still screw it up. Yeah, they do, don't they? What I'm hoping I live long enough, I can go back to a bunch of, or have somebody else go back through a bunch of my live streams and pull out a bunch of crazy stuff, and put together kind of like a video of going live. Yeah, Sean hadn't been in here yet when that was going on. Andy, yeah, block multinational words on here, mate. But out in the wilds, different world and audience. You betcha. I'm kind and polite to anybody I cross in the backcountry, because I don't know who the hell they are. I don't know how they'll react. But I'm pretty good at reading a person. If I got a feeling about them, then the language can get a little rough. And I'll just make it perfectly clear to them that now we're on different trails, buddy. Yeah. And you wanna give me some preaching? You're gonna get an earful as I'm walking over the next ridge, and you'll hear my last word as I top that ridge. I ain't taking that blankety blank from nobody out in the woods. That's not where it belongs. And Sean Carl says, you got that right, Andy. And then Sean said, just like all us old buggers. Yes, just like us old buggers. Andy says, all those graphics just give me a migraine. So you keep doing what you're doing, please. LOL. You count on it, Andy. Me too. It's just, I can't stand that much stuff going on. I don't mind a little something going across the screen, top or bottom. But if you got 4 or 5 things going on, it's just like, well, why are you even on here? Why don't you just put that up there and we'll watch that stuff? And you can narrate from the other room or something. I don't know. Gary Irwin, a good conversation has one talker and some listeners. Yeah, usually that's, and that's the thing is I've gotten into that discussion with other people about how storytelling goes versus story listening. So many people in this busy world of ours have adapted to, when they listen to somebody, they're only going to hear enough that will bring their attention on themselves. So if somebody says, you should this, and this, so many listeners automatically go, oh, I got to think of a response to that because I don't agree. So I got to think about a response. So they quit listening and spend all their time thinking of what they're going to say next. They quit hearing what that person's saying, and they start thinking about what they've got to say. And everybody's going to do that to a degree, but there's a lot of people out there, boy, they're looking at you like they're listening, but they're not. They're thinking about what the heck they got to say to you next. And I'm one where if I'm listening to somebody, to someone who's speaking, I like to sit and listen to them and hear what they have to say. And then after they've told me what they want to tell me, then I'll take the time to think about what they had to say, what the content was, and maybe I have a response to it, and maybe I don't. But to cut off everything they're saying because you heard one little tidbit that you got to think of a response to. They're not asking you questions, they're telling you something, and that's it. So I think it's something that comes natural to a lot of people, is they must be asking me a question. So yeah, you're so right there. Good conversation has one talker and some listeners. We've got a lot of good. See, I like our conversation because it's very evident everybody's listening to each other. Because when you get good responses to comments, and people are making comments that are relative to what's being discussed and what's in the chat, that's a good conversation. Andy says, have you ever noticed how your country people, when they get upset at someone and that person turns around in English and swears at them, they look so shocked? Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I had a couple of people that are just being nasty at me. It was at a trailhead, actually, and they're just being nasty at me. One of them said that my truck used too much fuel or something, that I was wrecking the environment or something because of my truck. And then another one. Actually, there were three of them. There were two guys and a gal, and the gal, she started in about I suppose you litter and this and that. And they're just being nasty to me, and getting all upset about something that they didn't even really know that I had ever done. And I told them, I listened, I heard them out, just shaking my head like, no, that ain't right, no. And then when they were done, I told them, I said, well, I think you guys can get the innuendo. I told them, I said, well, you can go fishing by yourself. And that's all they said, and I hiked down a trail. And they all three of them, speechless. Can you believe he said that to us? Well, why wouldn't I? I didn't start a conversation with you in the first place, and you're all pissed off at me and putting me down. So I just told them to go fishing by themselves and headed on the trail. I didn't pronounce it quite that way, but yeah. Oh yeah, Andy, yeah. British English as opposed to American English is like the taboo is 10 times stronger meaning or something. Yeah. I had a fella that I did some business with out in Montana that was straight out of England, and I had said a couple of things that I didn't seem no big deal to me. Oh boy, he was just insulted to beat the band. I just, what? Over here, yeah, well, I mean, loose language is out in the general world is pretty common. I mean, and you shouldn't be taking it too personal. So Sean says, what's this new system you got, Sty? It's called OBS. It's Open Broadcasting. I think it's either system or software. And it's free. It doesn't cost a dime to have it. You download it for free. And it lets you put all these banners up and plug in and have pictures pop up, videos pop up. You can cut and split. You can do scene changes. That's like this. I'll just do this. This is a scene change. You can see it says "Welcome to the Sty Shack" up there, and I can change the scene, and I can throw this banner on the bottom. Boom, 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 and it's pretty seamless. Everything goes pretty seamless, and it has a few issues. I'll call them management issues. You gotta keep your eye on a lot of things to make sure everything's working right. I was having a lot of trouble with the audio, and I have to keep my eye on the audio and make sure it's there. And like I got background music going on, I got to watch the mixer to see that that background music's playing and that it's not cranked way the heck up over my voice. And I think people over here, and I gotta get used to the backward screen. People over here in the chat are, if the background music is burying my voice, they'd be over here in the chat talking about anything and everything they want to talk about, but never mentioning anything I said. They'd be going, boy, that's great music, and we can sit over here and chat during the nice background music. So you got to watch that you're not burying yourself with other things. Andy says, new for Sty? Let me think. Would that be a car with key ignition as opposed to a handle sticking out of the front to start the engine? Yeah. Hey, that's not that dang funny. When I was in high school, I bought my first car when I was 15 years old. Lied like the devil to buy that car, to get it registered in my name, titled and registered in my name. I had to lie like the devil, but they bought it. Well, at 15, I had a really nice goatee, full mustache, long sideburns. I was kind of rough looking. And they believed me that I told them I was 20 years old, 5 years older than I really was. Well, I had a driver's license that I had altered. And I ended up with what happened was I went and got my driver's license. I hate to admit this stuff. I think there's a statute of limitations, so I'm saying, but I falsified a copy of my birth certificate that made me appear 5 years older than I was. So I went and I got my driver's license, and then I got my car at 15, and then Andy, Turtle Gold equals new car for a 15-year-old. You're absolutely right. That's how I bought my first car. 1963 Thunderbird. Oh, that sweet car. Anyway. But I had several cars over about a 3-year period. I went through several cars. And one car I had an old Model A Ford. Hand crank start. Get out there, turn the old crank. Set the spark. You spark arrested it so that it would it would fire. It was you're advancing the spark so that it would fire before it hit the top of the stroke. It made it easier to turn the crank, but you had to watch it, because if that crank hung up in the spindle, that's something. I almost said it. That son of a gun spin around, take your wrist right off. But that old Model A that I had, I drove that thing around for darn near a whole summer. During the day, that I scooted around that Model A during the day, and use my T-Bird at night. Girls didn't like the Model A. It wasn't a hot rod or nothing. It was an old beat up Model A, and I ended up selling that thing for close to $2,000 to a guy that restored it. He restored it all stock, all original. Sean, howdy. East Ohio here. Great state of Ohio. I've got some YouTube buddies in Ohio, and doggone it, I'm gonna have to make my way down there in the next year or two and just contact everybody, and we'll all meet up in some park somewhere and get to know each other a little better. Trying to not get too far out of sync with the chat here. At least I've got that figured out where I can have the chat over here and I can keep track of it. Mr. Z, what the heck is going on? I'm going to have to turn Sty's channel bell, turn on Sty's channel bell so I know you're on. Hello, Ollie says. Everybody say hi to Mr. Z. And Mr. Z, this is, as the title said, a Sty surprise stream. Nobody saw this one coming. I spent all day today. In fact, I think you and I commented to each other earlier today. But I spent all day today, except for a couple hours that I went to dinner with my grandson and his wife. The rest of the day I spent working on OBS, because I am determined to get this dang thing working. And finally I got it working well enough that I needed to do an actual live stream. I ran a couple of private tests and it looked okay. And I thought, I got to get out here and see what you folks think and see if I can run a regular full stream with OBS without it crashing. So if it does crash, folks, sorry. And you can always catch me in my next live stream, which guess when that is? Day after tomorrow. Saturday night at 7 p.m. I'm doing a live stream. So it's Saturday night at the Sty Shack. So we'll see you all Saturday night, I hope. Starting at 7 p.m. Central Time here in the U.S. of A. Sorry, you over-the-ponders. Andy. Doggone it, Andy, if you stay up till 3:15 in the morning again, when you got to go to work at 4, I'll paddle across that pond and use the paddle on you. Shame on you, man. You got to take care of yourself. What do we got going on here? Okay. Andy says, painful subject, Sean. When you said Sean says, drink some coffee. And Andy says, painful subject, 2 weeks without coffee so far and not liking it. Oh my gosh. Oh. Sean Carl says, why aren't you doing coffee, Andy? Scene says, let's go fishing for walleye in Lake Erie. I have the rods, boat, everything. Oh, hey, I get in your neck of the woods, I will take you up on that. I will. Oh, there ain't nothing Sty likes more than walleye. Whoa! Catching walleye and then eating walleye. You put those two together, and that's the Taj Mahal beyond heaven's gates. Oh, oh. And Andy says, Mr. Z, I'm not sure you should be playing with Sty's bells without asking him first. When I was a sweet little boy, my grandmother gave me a cute little toy. 2 bells hanging upon a string. She told me it was my ding-a-ling-a-ling. Keep your hands on your own bells, boys. Oh, you guys. Walleye is one of the best freshwater tasting fish there is, in my opinion. Well, that's a shared opinion there. Very shared opinion. I've got a remote lake, a deep little. It's a really deep little pot lake, and it's got tons of panfish, bass, largemouth bass, and it's got decent-sized northern pike. A large northern there runs about 8 pounds. Yeah, about 8 to 15 pounders are once in a great while. Most of them are right around 4 or 5 pounds. And it's got walleye in that lake. Now they say the walleye are a little tough to hook. I'm thinking I might be able to swing to buy a kayak this summer. I take kayak on that little lake. It's not a big lake. It's only about maybe 5 acres. And you wouldn't think a 5-acre lake would have walleyes in it, but it's a deep pot lake. It's deep water. Well, I heard that there's a fella that he pulled he's pulled plenty of 26 to 30 inches out of there. Now those are big fish for that small lake. Now I have been in that lake a couple times and not fished it yet, but that lake's full of leeches. Full of leeches. The walleyes are eating hearty in that lake. Andy says, I didn't go to bed last Friday, mate. Was in the car at 6:30 and heading for London. Got home at 10:30 Saturday night and all but went into a coma. Did you just come out of that coma today? Holy smokes, man. Andy, don't kill yourself, man. We need you. Sty needs you in our stream here. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how this summer is going to work out, but I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to make a trip down to Ohio this summer. So, Sean, I'll let you know if I'm getting in that neck of the woods, because I'll be just a couple hours away from northern Ohio. So yeah, what's a couple of hours when I'm traveling from northern Wisconsin all the way to Ohio? I used to drive over the road truck, so I wouldn't think twice of it. Andy K. Sean, a little thing called IBS, and trying to find out what I can and can't eat, can't eat or drink without turning inside out all day. Oh man, Andy. I after that gallbladder I had removed a couple of weeks ago, they told me, they said, boy, you stay away from fatty foods and this and this and this and this and everything they told me I could eat. I'm going, yeah, geez, I can't do that. Well, the other day, my kid, he says, I'm going to come over and visit you. And now my kid, he said, you could call him the manager, the head dude at an awesome mom and pop pizza joint. He says, I'll come on over. What do you want me to bring over for dinner? I said, how about a stuffed crust pizza with, okay, give me that mega meat one that you're making. So he brought this huge stuffed crust pizza. Now he stuffed that crust with 3 different cheeses. It had mozzarella, cheddar, and Swiss in it, and bacon in the crust. Tons of sauce, tons of meat, tons of cheese, everything that Doc told me, don't you even try eating that stuff because your system can't handle it after losing that gallbladder, not for a long time. I ate about 1/3 of that big, huge pizza. And I mean, that was a lot of pizza. That had to have been a pound and a half at least of pizza. That damn pizza weighed about 6 pounds. And I was scared all night. I was scared almost all the next day. I had to go to work. I went to work and I thought, oh lordy, look out. Don't anybody, that restroom's got, I was going to hang an out of order sign on the restroom just so I know that it's available. I survived it. It didn't go through me like they said it would. So now I'm back to my normal diet, and I'm happy with that. Andy, I don't know about that with the airlines. I've got a couple of airline travel stories that I'm going to be doing in the future that you would probably appreciate. Yeah, I'd be a little careful with what you try to pack in a suitcase. Oh boy. Like, listen to these guys. Sean Carl talking about walleyes. Everybody, yeah, jeez. We still got, everything's still iced up here. All of our inland lakes are still iced up. Lake Superior's still iced up. Nothing's broke up yet. Time for Sty to adjust in his old chair. There we go. Mr. Z says that hope you get better so you can have coffee again. Eating apples healed my stomach problems. Little, getting used to, but they heal the guts. Told other people and helped them, and I had bad problems. Sean Carl, Bemidji. Hey, buddy. I fished all that neck of the woods up around Bemidji, Auburn. Twin Lakes up in Auburn. Used to fish the heck out of them 2 lakes. There's a little resort there called Lazy Acres that we stayed at in the 50s and the early 60s when I was a kid. My great-grandfather, he was a colonel in the 2nd Minnesota Cavalry, is buried in Bemidji. I got to get over that way this summer, in fact, and I want to get over and check his grave out and maintain his grave a little bit. Nobody's been there for several years, so Yeah, Paul Bunyan in Bemidji. I believe I have some pictures of me standing under Babe the Blue Ox with my hand. I was just a kid and I'm reaching as far as I can. I could just touch Babe's belly. I took my first airplane ride in Bemidji, Minnesota when I believe I was 7 years old at the time. Float plane, an old float plane. My dad paid, he couldn't believe that it cost him $15 for me to go for an airplane ride. But I tell you what, that was the best $15 my pop ever spent on me. I loved it. Andy, you do whatever you gotta do to stay in shape or get back into good shape. Mr. Z says, I eat lots of hot stuff. So do I, Mr. Z. Especially that jerky that Calvin over at Calvin's Corner 72 sent me. I cheated. I took a bag and I started nibbling on it. I still got about half of that bag left. And I got 2 more bags that are just, they're hands off till I get out on the trail. I'm saving them. Darn, they're good. And they're spicy. I like them. I like how everybody's giving advice on each other's health issues. I mean, oh man. I've corrected so many problems I've had over the years just by listening to folks that have been there, gone through it, and done it. Half the time what the doctor tells you ain't enough, or it's too much information. You talk to folks that have been down that road, and the next thing you know, you take a little of their advice, and you're going, by golly, it was that simple. And it didn't cost me $135 to go to the doctor to have them say, yeah, that's what you got, and don't eat this. And an acquaintance, a friend, or just someone you met on the street says, oh, you know, I had that condition. I did this, this, and this. You should try that. And you think about it and you go, well, what the heck have I got to lose? So you try it and you go, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. The damn doctor was trying to kill me. Well, I hate to say it, I hate to go there. I've got some friends that are in the medical field. But I hate to say it, but I feel this way. Sometimes them doctors want to keep you sick. Okay. Andy says, feed me up with cauliflower and broccoli and I'll rest my butt in the lake. You watch how quickly it defreezes then. Andy, they'll put you to work for the Coast Guard as an icebreaker. Tuxley Von Jur, welcome to the Sty Shack. Good to see ya. Everybody is welcome at the Sty Shack. We just have to get them. We just have to get those folks over here. Great, everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. That's great. Welcome newcomers in anytime you get a chance. And anytime you get a chance, hit the like button. Anytime you get a chance, hit the share. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you got some social media. And if you don't have any social media, word of mouth. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. There, I got that out of the way. Andy says most of my doctor's meds have gone now. 1 week more, and that will be 15 years of morphine gone too. Oh, Andy. God, I feel for you, man. Oh, I feel for you. Mr. Z says, hey, Tuxley, were you guys talking about Model Ts before? I would love a Model T truck. Hey, if you guys were talking about Model Ts, I had an old bucket T. Nowhere's near stock. I had a 1933 Plymouth suicide door 5-window coupe. And I didn't know what to use for a motor in it because it didn't have no motor in it. And so we started gas haxing the thing and welded some new mounts in it, and we dropped ourselves a little 283 Chevy in it. And that was a fun little ride for a while. Well, it got wrecked, you know. I put it in the ditch and rolled it on its side, and it pretty well tore it up. Well, we pulled the motor out of it, and we pulled the body off. Some guy bought most of the body parts. And all I had left was the frame. And I had a posi track rear end mounted in it. And I just didn't know what to do with it. Well, some guy owed me a bunch of money. So, for part of the payment, he says, I got a bucket T body that I'll give you for part of what I owe you. And I said, well, let me take a look at it. Well, here he had a remanufactured fiberglass bucket T, and he had the radiator with the aftermarket cowl over the radiator, and he had a couple of tricked out rear fenders for it. And I decided, yeah, I'm going to take that and I'm going to mount that crap on the model, or on that old 33 Plymouth frame. Well, then I didn't have a motor anymore. I had sold the 283, so I went and I took that. I had this old Chrysler, or not Chrysler. I had this old Mercury station wagon that had a big boat anchored 390 V8 in it. We took that 390 and dropped it in there and finished up that little bucket T, and boy, was that thing a blast. That thing was a blast, but that was a death trap. I sold it in a hurry because I knew I'd kill myself in it. From the Alps. That's beautiful country too. That is so beautiful, that country. Oh. I got things galore going on here, but everything's looking pretty good here. Hope you folks don't mind. I had to take a quick peek at what's going on with the health of my live stream. being this is the first time I've ever done OBS, I need to be sure that everything's still functioning. Yeah, it's all looking good. It's all looking great. Let's see what we got going on here in the chat. Yes, 241 over there in the Alps, and Andy's just an hour behind him. Boy, you guys, I tell you what, I'm looking at the time here. It's 8:46 in the evening. Oh, you guys, if I had all you folks around the campfire, it's one of those deals where when the sun comes up, we'll wish we had gone to bed. Land of confusion. Yeah. Andy says, no, mate. Land of confusion by British government. Ain't government. Do. I got a Sty story about talking about government. We'll get to that on a Sty Story Sunday, folks. About the EU exit and stuff, you mean? Or why? That and all the other old tut they inflict upon the public. Oh yeah, in a couple of years, all cars in Britain to have cameras like there ain't enough here, and speed limiters. See, that's one thing that I can say. Over here in the U.S., when they start getting regulatory and start doing all this extra garbage that's just infringing upon us, it starts in California and it spreads across our country. It also starts in New York, and the effects all squeeze together, and they all show up in the middle, right in the heartland, right where I'm at. And what it is what happens to you folks over there. You'll test and try something, and if it doesn't work, I guarantee you California and New York will try it, even though they saw it didn't work over there. It's after the fact. They don't learn from somebody else, so they'll repeat that, and then it spreads across our country, and all it does is anger the heartland of our country, and that's why you see so much division in the U.S. right now. Times are politically more and more crazy, that's for sure. That's it. And Cheesehead Chris is back in the house, and everybody, pay attention, because Cheesehead is here. He finally got his. Yep, he got that back in the house. Back in the house. That's Cheesehead for you. Yeah, his heart's with us, but his is there. But it's good to see you back, Cheesehead. Left me here all alone. And he says we'd never get a word in edgewise. If he can't get it in edgewise, he'll wedge it in. Don't ever tell me you don't get a word in. Cheesehead. And he says, I'm going to try to catch up here. If you had all of us around the campfire, Sty, you would be one busy waiter for the evening, mate. No, guess who'd be waiting? You'd be waiting. You'd be waiting. No, I'll pass. I'll pass it. I'll pass it around. I'll pass it around. I ain't getting up out of my seat. Says in the USA, you had common law, but when they brought more and more statutes, it got worse and worse. Exactly. And the U.S. Constitution was to restrict the statutory growth in this country, and it didn't work. Our own Supreme Court has ruled that statutory law is nothing more than the color of law, and that the true heart of law lies in common law. Our highest courts have already reaffirmed that. And what do we have? Thousands upon thousands of additional statutes written annually. I used to work in government, and it sucked. Oops. Was that a restricted word? Yep, Mr. Z says, well, wait a minute. Hey, Woods Runner. Gosh darn it, Woods is here. Woods is in the house. It is so good to see you, Woods. I'll tell you what, Woods. This is my first test of using OBS software for doing live streams. And that's what this is all about. I didn't tell anybody I was doing this one because I didn't decide to do this one until about 4:30 this afternoon. I didn't even tell Cheesehead. The heck with Cheesehead. Hey, Cheesehead, that ass needs a cheese head on it. And I don't know that Woods knows what we're talking about. And for those that don't know what we're talking about, that's it right there. That, I keep saying, Cheesehead's in the house. You know, by golly, I'm gonna have to get on my thumbnail software and try to do just that. Well, that was fun. That top banner lost the audio again. I don't know why it does that. But anyway, I have to try to get a Cheesehead plastered on top of that donkey just for Cheesehead. Yeah. I'll have one just for him, and I'll have one for other folks that might pop in that deserve a donkey or two. Yeah, it is so good to see you in here, Woods. I've been missing the old MT really bad lately. I don't know that I can swing it financially this year, but I'm praying that I can. And if I can't, it'll be next year because I've got a trip fund started. But I want to make a road trip, and I want to shoot up through Glacier and then come down through the Cabinets and down through your neck of the woods. And by golly, I just got that bug. I just don't know that I can get it in this year or not. But old Sty right now is starting to feel like, gosh, dang it. when my time comes, somebody's going to have to really shake me, and they're going to have to say, Sty, Sty, Sty. You got to lay down. And I'll say, why? And they said, you died yesterday. You died yesterday. You got to lay down. You're done. Because I ain't got time to die. I got things to do. I got plans. Joe Cook says, good night all. Have to take my insulin and go to bed. Well, you do that, Joe. I got to take my insulin tonight too, but I don't take mine until about 11 o'clock at night. And that's because of my weird work schedule. And so I got plenty of time before I got to take mine. But you take care of yourself, Joe. It's so great to see you here. It's always great to see you here. Wood says, oh yeah, I'm in. Yeah. Good. Yeah, we'd have to do, even if it's a short camp, you know, I'd let you pick the campsite and we'd just go, boy, spend a night or two around the campfire, man. Okay, Tuxley's got to head out too. I have to go into the dream world to have a good remaining time all. Hey, thank you so much for coming aboard. And keep an eye out for our streams. It's great having you in here. Great conversation. Like I said, I only get the best people anyway. Yeah, you know, I've had people tell me, well, you got to do this, you got to do that to get more people in your streams and this and that. And I said, if it comes naturally, I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. But if I got to run around to all these other streams and channels and this whole, you got to network, you got to get these people to follow you and those people, and they'll bring all these people, and well, I want people here because they want to be here. And I get all these people that are here all the time. And that's what really makes my stream special, is that you can count on certain people. And you go to some of these other streams and they've got 150, 200 people in the stream, and they've got at least 60% of them in the chat. They got the chat set at slow mode, and you still can't keep up. You just cannot keep up. And you miss so much. You miss so much. Not here. Not here. I miss a few things. And if I ever miss anything that you guys say, don't hesitate to repeat yourself if you really want my attention for something. Cheesehead does it all the time. He's still asking for his check. Cheese says, I never said I wanted to be here. No, he has to be here. I have to tell you, folks, there's certain people in the YouTube world Sty just can't live without. And Cheesehead's one of them. Chris, buddy, I just don't know. I gotta lift my glasses to see what the heck I'm doing. I'm trying to open this dang thing. See, I'm technically challenged. Now, if I was trying to bust open a coconut or a handful of acorns or something, I wouldn't even have to look. I'd just do it. Give me a bottle that's got plastic tape around the top and shake before you drink, and no, I'm technically challenged. Look at me on here. I mean, holy smokes, I got, I'm using OBS. Yeah, I told everybody else MT Woods Runner, but I was going to name this stream OBS, but I was going to name it, I was going to do it with OH comma capital BS, because this thing's been a pain in my neck. I'd rather be out in the backcountry, ready to set up camp, open my pack up and go, oh shoot, I forgot my cover. I better start throwing something together because I forgot my cover. I think I can handle that. I'd do that anytime I get put in that situation. Put me in this situation, OBS, oh, you have to this, you have to that, you have to this. Well, I did all the have tos, and it still does what it wants to. No, the outcome is just not matching my input. So I speak a different language, I guess. MTE says, I reckon you're under contract, Cheese. And she says, I never signed nothing. Hey, you signed your warrant when you fed me chicken cordon bleu cooked on an open fire with hobo stew. That's when you sealed your fate. You should have never fed me. I'm like that stray dog. Don't feed it. It won't go home. It'll come back all the time. You did it. It was your own doing. You said, get on down here to Hayward. We got a meet. We're going to go to the Dynamite Shack. First thing you do is make hobo stew with these monstrous brats. Oh, I can still smell and taste them. Then I lose my camera, and I think you went out there and searched for that camera just to get me back. And you get me back down there and say, oh, while you're here, I was just coming down to pick up the camera. We're going to go to the CC camp, and I've got these stuffed chicken breasts that are wrapped in bacon, and I got some, we're going to take those hobo cans, and we're going to cook us up some corn and taters and carrots. And so you did it. Did it to yourself. You fed me. You can't get rid of me now. And no, you can't take me to the vet and have me put down. That ain't happening. No. That's inhumane. I like that. Never learned to spell, neither. Yeah, and he's got spell check. Mr. Z's gotta go. Wife wants my attention. Saturday, I won't have cell service. Hope you guys have a good week. Talk to everyone next week. Well, thanks, Mr. Z. And, hey, that's all right. That's all right, man. And starting not this Sunday, but the following Sunday is when Sty Story Sundays start. And so every Sunday after that, starting the 7th of April, there'll always be a Sty Story Sunday. So anytime you're available at 7 p.m. Central here, you can stop on into the Sty Shack and catch a Sty Story. It's just always wonderful having you here, Mr. Z. Sean Carl says, I must be too old, Sty. What's super chat? Okay. See, I don't, this banner that's telling you about super chat and my PayPal thing, that was hard for me to actually put up. I do not like to ask for anything, let alone money. I don't like to go there. But I'm finding that it's starting to cost me a little bit to run a channel. But Super Chat is, if you look, I gotta get used to this dang thing. If you look at your chat, at the bottom of the chat screen, at the bottom of the chat screen, you'll see an emoji smiley face, and right next to it a $sign in a rectangular box. That $sign there, if a person clicks on that, a person can donate whatever dollar amount they want. You know, they can donate $1, they can donate $20, whatever. And they get to leave a message with that donation, and it pops up as a super chat. It'll show over here in the chat that you did a super chat. Let's say if a person does one, I don't remember the time limits on them anymore. If you do one for $1, it's only there for a few seconds. You know, it's just like a regular chat message. If you do one for $5, it sits up at the top and it's highlighted, and your question stays up there so everybody can see it, or your comment stays up there so everybody can see it for a few minutes. And then if you do a $10 one, it's up there a little longer. If you do a $20, it's up there quite a bit longer. I've seen on some channels people do 50 or higher, and then I can't remember how long it sits up there, but it sits up at the top of the chat, and it's highlighted, and a person can go to that, and it promotes them and their channel, and it helps my channel. That's what super chats. That's what that is. It's a way for a channel to generate some additional revenue, and it's because the ad revenue is just hilarious. I thought I did pretty darn good. I made a whole, I think it was $18 in the month of March. $18 from people watching my videos on ad revenue. And someone told me, they laughed, they go, "Oh, you only made $18. I said, "Are you kidding?" I've talked to other people, and they said, "You'll be darn lucky if you make $8 or $10. So I doubled what they were talking about. So yeah, I'm good. Yeah. The thing is you don't get in it. The creator, the host, doesn't get any of that money until you exceed $100, and then they only pay it out once a month. So if I hit $100, and it's the day after they did their payout for the month, I gotta wait another whole month before I'll get paid $100. so yeah, it's all it is it's to create a little cushion for smaller channels to help keep their channel alive, and for the big channels, yeah, I can understand. I've seen some where there's super chats that they make a couple $100, $300, $400. I went to one really big channel that he did almost $900 in one stream, and it was a 4-hour stream. $900 in 4 hours. Oh, let's round it up to $1,000. You know, I'll tell you what, making $250 an hour. Guess who's the doctor now? Yeah, I don't ever expect to see something like that. Not in my world. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. The Cheesehead says that it won't let me do a half penny. It'll let you do 200 of them. 200 half pennies. It'll let you do that, Cheese. Woods Runner says, I heard about that super SH/T stuff. No way, Jose. That's what I had after gallbladder surgery. Super shat. Yeah. Thank God I'm over that. Andy, must be broken cheese. Yeah. What? You gotta keep an eye, folks, on your spelling. Woods is our grammar moderator. If you'll notice, I gave Woods a wrench. And that's why. He expects the best, which only the best come to my streams, to act like it. Cheesehead is, just so folks know, Cheesehead stutters. A lot of people don't really notice it, but I've noticed it. He asked me for his check about 500 times now. He's got a bad stutter. And he's probably best not to hold your breath on that one, Cheese. Yep. Cut little cheese instead of a check. That's what I ought to do. I got something for you, Cheesehead. We'll cut you something. Pony Express is bringing your check, Cheesehead. Be on the lookout for a man on a horse. Yeah, I live an hour north of Cheesehead. You know, it's terrible though. We've only gotten together twice. And we live so close to each other. But my work schedule and his life, I mean, Cheesehead's a busy guy too. And it's just, it's just tough for us to get together. Now look at it. I'm jumping way down now. Cheesehead says, I'm going to send Bubba and Tiny up to collect. Okay. Hey, Vito. Bubba and Tiny are going to come up to visit us. Oh, I didn't turn the sound off. I'm sorry. Now they know that you're hanging out here. Gary, he says, super chat, I thought that was to let Sty know how much money I wanted. Well, that's like I say about giveaways. You know, giveaways they're cool. They're it's a fun kind of thing to do and stuff. But for me, so many channels get just way too into it. I only did one giveaway. And guess who won that giveaway? I had 50-some people jumped on that giveaway. One person won it. Guess who? Who cut the cheese? Yeah. And that's how I ended up going down there to see Cheesehead in the first place. Was I said, well, that worked out pretty good. This Cheesehead Chris won my giveaway. So I'll, instead of mailing and spending $14 on a box to send it to him, I'll hand deliver it. Well, like I said, he made the mistake. He fed me. Andy, ain't that what Texicans get from all that chili? I had some chili, in fact, um, just north of Laredo, Texas, at a little roadside chili shack. I swear, the next day, the next morning, when I went into the John and did my duty, I almost started screaming for help because I thought I had burned off my left leg. I was pretty sure that I lost my left leg. That if I stood up off the crapper, that my leg would still be there. And you couldn't pass one without wanting a fire extinguisher within easy reach. That was the nastiest stuff I ever. It tasted great. It was spicy going on. It was good. But coming out the other end, dangerous, dangerous. That was a super chat. Woods runner, yeah. I'd prefer a hammer. I'd have preferred a hammer. Andy says, now you know why your bank account's not as healthy as it should be. Cheesehead says they'll be sitting outside the store waiting for me. I can hold up in that store for a long time, you know. There's a lot of food in that place. Ain't no good for you, but there's a lot of food in that place. Yeah. Cheap bum, he says. Oh yeah, no smoking in the John that morning. Boom! There she blew. Another one bit the chili. Woods. Content. Careful. Yeah. And he says, I'm very content. She says you got to get in first into the store he's talking about. Well, what are they going to do if I don't show up? Fire me? I've been using that for the last 2 weeks. Well, Sean's got to get out of here. He's saying, well, good night, all. I got to get back to my potato salad making. Oh, man. Oh, that's one of the things that just kills me on this channel is, on my streams, is all the food talk. Oh, yeah. It's... I can't believe how much folks like to talk about food. And Sean, you have a very, very good night. Yeah, I'm having a heck of a time really getting used to everything that's on the screen with this OBS software stuff. It'll take me a while. It'll take me a while to get used to all this. But this stream's been going pretty darn smooth, pretty good. Even with all of the smart aleck remarks from Cheesehead, I mean, Gary Irwin's got to go. He's got some sheep to count. Yeah. I know a few folks that they count sheep to go to sleep, and they said they can never get to sleep. And I said, why is that? And they said when they count them sheep, they get to 18, 19, 20. Oh no, there's more sheep. They gotta start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they get to 18, 19, 20. Oh no, there's more sheep. They just can't count that far. Andy says, now don't go thinking of tender, juicy steaks cooking over the coals of a fire. Andy! Yep, that's it. When you're running out of fingers, use your toes, mate. That's it. And hope you don't have more than 20 sheep. Hope you fall asleep by 17, 18. Because if you don't, you got to start all over. Cheesehead. Cheesehead. Dang it, Cheesehead. I got to work tomorrow. I got to work. Oh. And Saturday I got a bunch of things I got to get done. And then I got a live stream Saturday night. So, yeah. Gary, they must be having a bad night. Yeah. Wood says he has to go tuck in the missus. Wink, wink. LOL. Night, everyone. Take her easy, Sty, he says. And hey, you take it easy, Woods. Looking forward to the next time we cross paths, buddy. Just love seeing you here, man. You take very good care of yourself, Woods. She said, sucker to be you. More ways than one. Yeah, thanks. It sucks. Calvin's Corner is in the house. Awesome. Good to see you, Calvin. He says, hello. I'm driving to work watching Sty North. How awesome is that? Don't hit nothing. I don't want to be responsible for a truck wreck there. Hey, Calvin, it's great to see you. This is a surprise stream. This was not supposed to happen. I'm trying OBS out for the very first time. So I've been playing with it a little bit and kind of getting it down. But it's my first try, so it is what it is. But boy, it's good to see you, Calvin. You be careful driving to work, man. Yep. Yeah, like I said, only the best people pop up in my chats. Yeah. Can't believe it. That last stream I did was just absolutely hilarious. When my goofball son, Running Water, went and deleted Cab 7's super chat. I mean, come on now. The minute you click that send button, after you just set up a super chat, the minute you click that send button to post it, that $10 is gone. Cab did a $10 super chat, and the minute he did that, it wasn't. It was just seconds after it went up. All of a sudden, it shows comment deleted by Running Water. I'm going, oh, hey, man, the man gave me $10, and you're just deleting his comment. And then it wasn't 5 seconds after that. All of a sudden, it says Cab 7 has been put on a timeout for 300 seconds. You don't put super chatters on timeout. The man paid $10 and you didn't let him say nothing, and you did, and now you're not going to let him say, "What did you do to me?" My kid, and I'm on there going, no, you don't do that, no. And I spent that 300 seconds apologizing for wiping out somebody's super chat. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, can I reverse that? What do I do? And just as Cab 7's timeout ended, my kid pops up, Running Water pops up a super chat for $20 with an apology typed out. And Cab followed him up, telling him, well, it happens, this and that, and with a $20 super chat. And so those two were super chatting, and I'm sitting back going, well, I guess my kid didn't do a bad thing there. If he starts deleting people's comments on super chat and then apologizes and then they give more, hey, he's the one that got in trouble. He got chewed out. The other person's comment didn't get posted, but I made $10. Well, geez, that's not so bad. that now I know why these guys use super chat. Then I find out later, a couple days later, I'm asking some other folks in different channels, and they're saying they've never ever seen that happen before. And one person's been up for 8 years, and they had a different method of doing channel support that way, and then they went to super chat, but they've never seen someone delete somebody that did a super chat, put them on a timeout. Well, there's a first for everything. It might as well happen here. Jack Walsh snuck in on me. Good to see you, buddy. I saw the notification. You just watched a video of mine. That was very nice of you. But I will leave a heart or a comment on what you said on that video after this is done. It is absolutely great to see you, Jack. And Kelvin saying, was OBS? I'm not sure what this is. Thanks. It's, I should have wrote it down. It's Open Broadcasting Software or System is what the acronym's for. And it's free. Go online, just Google OBS, and it'll pop up, and look at it. And it's free. You can download it. And it's a studio program that allows you to transition things in and out. You can create different scenes, and it connects to YouTube. You're doing the live stream right on OBS, and you're sending that signal, that live stream, over to YouTube, and YouTube's running it live then through YouTube. And they're archiving the actual stream as a permanent video when you're done. If you get all the bugs out, it's got a huge learning curve for us old buggers, but but once you get it mastered, it's great. It really is. Let's see what people are saying here. Cheesehead Chris is trying to say, I wish we could pay to put Sty on a timeout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, I will sell a timeout to you for $100. I'll sell a 5-minute timeout to you for $100. I'll just, I'll put it on a, I'll just put it on a loop screen, a video or something going or whatever, for 5 minutes. I won't say a word for $100. But you'd have to do it on here as a super chat. That would be my key. I see $100 super chat. I'll put myself on a 5-minute timeout, and I'll just pop something up on the screen for folks to watch while I have to sit off. And they can chat away, and I have to sit off for 5 minutes. Cheesehead, I said $100, not $25. Andy says gonna need one hell of an electric shock for that cheese. Yep. Get out the taser. Andy, crowdfunding cheese? If I see four $25 super chats pop up there, and then every one of them has a comment that says this is 1/4 of the $100 timeout, that ain't gonna be nice to do that to me, you know. That'd be pretty. Hey, there you go, you guys. You know, you gotta get out there and share my streams and get a big enough audience. You guys could crowdfund a shut Sty up. Now that would be something new. That would be something new on a channel. I've never seen anything like that set up before. I might just work on that a little bit and figure out a way that I can work in Sty timeouts. You guys are putting me on to something here. Jack Wall says perhaps a cattle prod. Hey, I got a doggone Sty story about a cattle prod that didn't get along with me. Well, I didn't get along with it. That'll have to be a Sty Story Sunday one, for sure. It doesn't matter when you said 25 cheese. What matters is what I said. You're just like one of my dang kids. For years and years, and still today, I keep telling them, it don't matter what you said. It only matters what I say. I'm in charge here. Yeah, that I see how Andy's popped up as might be inappropriate, you know, because of the acronym there, but come on, people. I mean, thank you. It must have been Cheesehead that approved that one. Thank you. You caught it before I did. Because just as I was reading it, I saw it went up. Thank you. And it was just hilarious that it tagged it, because anybody that understands that acronym, they hear it all the time. So why would they? What, whose feelings are we hurting? Because people that don't wouldn't say that, or aren't used to hearing it, wouldn't know what the heck. They'd be looking at that going, Sty's latest stream title, The Great STFU Challenge. They wouldn't know what the heck that we're talking about. So how the heck does YouTube's got a bad, dirty mind or something, I'm telling you. Jack says, I'm all ears. Take for now. Good night, all, and Uncle Sty, too. Jack, thanks for popping in. That's great. Calvin's Corner. Haha, I guess Sty just told Cheesehead Chris. No, wait. Sty just got the cheese right out from under him, just like he did his kids. I gotta treat cheese like a kid. He's just a big kid. And he stretched the fat udder. My oldest daughter's other half is a dairy farmer. And if he had seen that acronym, I could see him coming up with that and thinking that's probably what we meant. Oh, that's just too darn funny. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, now I'm going to reread that. Sty's latest stream title, The Great Stretch the Fat Udder Challenge. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that would be one to film, all right. Now, that would be Sty's true viral video. That one would go viral. Oh, local dairy farmers would be... Keep an eye on that guy. If he shows up at our farm, call the cops. He's out to do a video. He's going to do a live stream on the Stretch the Fat Udder challenge. Not on our farm, he ain't. Well, Calvin says cheese is made from the baseball butter ever. Baseball butter ever? He retracted that. It didn't make sense to you either, Calvin? Calvin, are you using voice to text? Yeah, Andy, that's so true. There we go. There's another Sty story. Jeez. Just don't go milking the bull. I could do a Sty story titled that. I could do another one like, be willing to lend a hand to your local Clydesdale. I'm not ashamed of anything. I've had to do both. There we go, Calvin. I don't know how you got baseball in there. Cheesehead is made from the best bull butter. I agree. He's such a buttered up fella, full of bull. Cheesehead's gonna block Calvin. Then I'll block Cheesehead. And then somebody's gonna give me $100 super chat, and I'll have to block myself for 5 minutes. What goes around comes around, and Sty gets paid for it. Andy. Now that would be well worth doing, Sty. Yeah, those Sty stories. Those are 2 Sty stories that, yeah, I'll eventually do. I actually had someone suggest to me. Now, I don't know if I'm going to take that suggestion or not. But I had someone suggest to me that as time goes on, I got to let my channel build a little more and get a little more growth to it. But eventually do like a once a month Sty late night age restricted stream. It still wouldn't be foul and nasty kind of thing. I'd want to keep it on the innuendo basis like we do here, but on more of the funner end products, you know. Calvin's Corner said it's called Amish Oil Challenge. Oh. Now I know if I would use the A word that somebody's going to give me grief. Somebody's going to give me grief, especially some of the Wisconsinites, because boy, we got a lot of them folks up here. Well, not up here, but central Wisconsin is huge. Amish communities and Mennonite communities. Now, Andy goes and puts another acronym up there, of course, ROFL. Calvin. Too much fun with acronyms. And then Andy says, can't do an age-restricted stream, Sty. My ex says that I'm only 7 years old mentally. Seven-year-old with 50 years experience. And Kelvin says, dang, I was using the Google Voice because I was laughing and driving. LOL. It doesn't hear us rednecks correctly. LOL. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking he's using voice to text, and with his southern drawl and and driving on top of it, Google's just saying whatever it wants. Well, watch us mess this guy up. Now, my kid, Running Water, I still think that's how he deleted Cap 7's comment, because he uses voice to text all the time. He insists it's because his phone shut down. I don't think so. I think he said something. I think he said something to his phone, and it did that. That's so good. Now there. Um, Google Voice got it right. I love cheese. He's like Jesus cheese, holy. Oh, oh, Andy, I'm glad I don't have a couple of Sty teas in me because I'd be on the floor rolling and laughing. That's terrible. You're so terrible. Not by what you say, but the laughing pain you give me. The I can't believe I'm going to read this out loud. Andy says, tried suicide by crucifixion one time. No matter how long I persisted and how many permutations I tried, I just could not get that last dang nail in. In other words, you couldn't reach your feet. You're terrible. We're terrible. That's just, oh, it's so terrible. But I truly believe the good Lord's got a sense of humor. Because if he doesn't, what the heck did he create me for? And he says he was born on Christmas Day, too. You know, everybody's got something in common with somebody. Well, I cannot believe this stuff. You know what, guys? I'm gonna take a peek here. There we go. I actually do kind of like how I can pop around on this stream using OBS and look at certain stats at the same time. Yeah, it ran without any hiccups from what I can tell. I'm going to run about 10 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to shut her down. We'll be breaking the 3-hour mark on a surprise stream that was supposed to be a quick test of OBS. And, oh, did we have the BS tonight? Boy, everybody's full of BS tonight. Hey, I did that too, Andy. I was so proud of myself. Oh, wait a minute. Calvin's Corner says, Ole, Sty is hitting the old blunt. Yeah. Andy says, now this is, I can relate to this, Andy, because I used this years ago. He says, been practicing hard and managed to turn wine into some kind of water. I told a bunch of buddies of mine when we were real young, we were out snowmobiling. And we all had these, and each of us were carrying 3 of these wine skins. You know the old wine skins. Each of us had 3 of those wine skins full of wine. And we're out snowmobiling. We're drinking all that wine, getting all tanked up on wine and driving snowmobiles. Bunch of poor dumb morons. Well, we stopped so that we could water the lilies. Well, I told them guys, we're kind of standing there BSing for a couple minutes before anybody did their duty. And I said, hey, you guys, you know what? I can turn wine into water. And they said, yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you think you're smart. I said, no, I can. I can. I said, I'll bet you. I said, I'll bet you $10 a piece that I can turn wine into water. And I said, if I can't turn it into water, I'll give you each $10. And they said, okay. Well, I turned around, whipped out, did my thing. And I said, there it is, guys. I said, I haven't had nothing to eat or drink other than this wine tonight. And there it is. They said, that ain't water. I said, yeah, it is. It's salt water. I didn't tell you what kind of water. Well, they never did give me the $10. They're kind of like cheesehead, you know. And I got even with them, though. I made them pay for communion for the next couple outings. Yeah, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy, crazy. Kelvin says I'm going to try that OBS when I get a little more time. Got to figure that out. It's cool. Oh, the BS is deep tonight. Good night, fellas. Had fun. Good night, Kelvin. You have a good night at work. We'll catch you next time. Catch you over on your karaoke channel. Yeah. Karaoke on the corner, guys. Kelvin's new channel. Kind of fun to go over there and listen to Kelvin sing out a tune. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't leave a message, Kelvin, but I did watch your last Dutch oven video. Good one. No stuffed chicken. See? The cheesehead does that to me all the time. Threatens to take away the stuffed chicken breasts. I mean, I'll tell you what, Chris, that yeah, I save all my streams, and I'll make a record of all these threats to take away my stuffed chicken breasts, and I'll get a hold of, what is that, Health and Human Services, and I'll tell them, see what this guy's doing? That's elder abuse. That's elder abuse. He keeps threatening to take food away from me. And then you got to bring up the bacon wrapped burgers. One of these days I'm going to wrap you up in bacon and knock you over in the fire pit. Doggone it, you guys. Oh, Andy. You guys are terrible. Terrible with this food. So you know what Sty's got to do now. Yeah, we hit the 3-hour mark, so I'm going to start wrapping her down. But now, because of the way you guys are talking out here, I'm going to have to go to the kitchen and make myself some sandwiches. Oh, hi, Michael. Michael just popped in. Yeah, we're getting just ready to shut her down there, Michael. Oh, that's a shame. Great. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Yeah, we've been having kind of a good time tonight. It's been pretty crazy. It's been downright crazy. I'll repeat it for probably the 50th time tonight. Cheesehead will probably have something smart to tell about it. I'm just testing OBS for the very first time, so I'm not, you know, I'm trying out a live stream using OBS, so it's that open broadcasting software, so, and now I'm just going through elder abuse with, she said Chris, he's trying to abuse me with food. I told him I'd turn him in and say it's elder abuse, that he's threatening to take away bacon-wrapped stuffed chicken breasts from me. And now he says, and I'll tell them you are not paying your caretaker. Caretaker? I'll tell them he's a care lesser. He could care less if Sty gets his stuffed chicken breasts or not. He's got, and yeah, he's a caretaker. He's supposed to be a caregiver. And then he has to pop in there. Grilled shrimp and steak rounds. Good too. Don't it? Sounds good too, don't it? Oh. Hey. Yeah, shrimp with steak rounds. Oh, that would be so good. And then a donut for dessert. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, that sounds good. Andy says, yep, could down some of that right now, cheese. Can all smell it on the plate. Jeez, it's torture, pure torture. Cheesehead says, say something smart. There, I just did. Hike with Mike, hey, it's good to see ya. Yeah, this is a surprise stream. I was telling everybody, I'm just testing out OBS for my very first time, so that's what this stream's about. We're getting pretty close to shutting it down. I give it a few more minutes. I get fresh folks popping in. Yeah, what the heck? It's not like I gotta go to bed anytime soon. Yeah, Hike with Mike says, hey everybody, just got back from trip to the dreaded city. Isn't that a bummer? I bet you're glad to be back. Bet you're very glad to be back. Michael says, LOL, always a day late and $1 short. Out here in the shop working. You guys have a great evening. Take it easy. Cheesehead. You can't food from an old dog. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well, you have a good night. You have a very good night. Andy says, got a couple of donut punching pros moved in down the street. Cheesehead. Bacon wrapped steak and bacon wrapped shrimp. Hike with Mike says, started the day with a swamp hike to get some fresh air before I left. It was beautiful as always. Well, that's a good way to start your day. If you got to head out to the city, if you can get out and get some fresh air before you do it, give yourself a little recharge and energy to face the big town. You know, it just gotta do it. You gotta do it. That's right. That's right. Yeah, take a quick peek here. Yeah. You know, guys, I think we're going to have to wrap this one up. Cheesehead got me so darn hungry now that I just, boy, I'm going to have to go eat something. Andy says I can see Cheese meeting you with a huge platter of food, and just as the drool begins to run, he'll take it away again. Yeah. He's the kind of guy that would park outside my place here. I'd look out the window and I'd see him sitting in his rake. And he'd be eating a big old bacon wrapped stuffed cheeseburger, waving at me in the window. Yeah, I can see him doing it. Can definitely see him doing it. Oh, yeah. That's Cheesehead, folks. Oh my gosh. AK Driller just popped in the house. Check it out, folks. Hey, it's good to see you, AK. Hey, you know what, Driller? I went back just a couple days ago. I went back. It was actually late at night after work. I just couldn't sleep. I didn't know what to do, and I was going through my channel. And I got a playlist called Story Time with AK Driller. I got a playlist of back when you did the story times. And I watched all of those story times. That I went back, I watched your original story time, and then my story time VR back to you. That was good. That was fun. Those days were pretty fun. Hike with Mike says, Sty, I see you discovered Campfire Steve's channel. He will have a great video of our crazy green swamp adventure in a week or so. Great. Yeah, I'll watch for it for sure, Mike. I got a kick out of his channel. There's some funny stuff. There's fun stuff and funny stuff in there. Andy says, can hear your stomach grumbling from here, Sty. Some Alka-Seltzer should sort it out for you. If it's dipped in chocolate, maybe? Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, no, I don't have them here. The other day, I bought 2 of these double packs of Dove chocolate peanut butter eggs. Now, I ain't supposed to be eating that stuff. Pure sugar, of course, made out of high fructose corn syrup. I still got a pack with 2 of them in it. There's 2 in a pack. I ate 1 pack. It took me 3 days to eat 2 of those. They are so sweet. Cheesehead. Oh my gosh. Cheesehead, you should be ashamed of yourself. Chocolate-covered bacon. I tried it, and really it's not so bad. Guess where I tried it? At the Minnesota State Fair. Yep. I can't remember which year that was, but yeah, it was a new thing that year. And boy, they were nice big strips of bacon, about a foot long, really wide and thick, nice thick bacon. Deep fried just perfect. They pull them buggers out and they just hold them for a minute and they get just stiff and they dip it in that stinking melted chocolate and they hand it to you, and by that time the chocolate's all set up on it. Oh, I would have never thought. Yeah, that was pretty darn good. Yeah, Mike did the same. He made it, and he's, as he says, surprisingly good. Andy, no, that works, Chris. Yeah, no, I got Andy and Chris. They've been teaming up on me all night on this food thing, But I'll tell you what, that suicide by crucifixion there, Andy, just really threw me. That was better than all the food talk. Because I'm putting that one in Sty's art. Worthless information. Okay, what? Andy says, try dunking a Mars bar in batter and deep frying it. Oh, I mean, come on, you guys. I went through a major heart attack and open heart surgery because I had buddies like you two. For too many years. They put me onto this stuff and I just can't. I want to try it. Yeah. AK says chocolate overload. Cheesehead says with sprinkles or nuts. And Nyquist Mike is really he's figuring it all out because he says that's insane, and he says that's a myth, Driller. No such thing or possibility as chocolate overload. AK says my missing teeth beg to differ. Yeah. That's I got the most expensive teeth in the world, folks. Well, not really. If they were gold plated, maybe, but other than being gold plated, they're them. Yeah. I spent just shy of $4,000 to get these teeth, and I knocked this one out, and right away they said, "Oh gosh, you need to get that fixed." And I asked them how much to get that tooth fixed. They said, "Well, if we fix the tooth, it's $45." I said, "Really?" They said, "Yeah, to put that tooth back in there." I said, "Okay. How about if you replace the whole bottoms?" They said, "Well, that's pretty cheap. That's about $340." I said, "That's cheap." And I said, "No, forget it. Missing that tooth, it's been gone for years now." People go, "God, that old boy still got all of his pearly whites. How does he do it? You know, he's only got one tooth missing." Poor dumb morons. No, they're my teeth. People say, "Do you have are those your teeth or do you have dentures?" I paid for them. They're my teeth, and I got one missing, and everybody thinks they're real because there's a tooth missing. Andy says, "I swear to you, battered Mars are for sale in the UK fish and chip shops everywhere, and they are delicious." You know, I could probably take 1 or 2 bites of that. The Mars bar. I love Mars bars, but battering them, deep frying them, a couple bites, and I could handle it. But beyond that, it'd be too rich for me to do the whole thing. So I'd have to find someone to share it with, and it wouldn't be Cheesehead. Cheesehead says cheesecakes covered with chocolate, covered with bacon, butterscotch sauce. He means Cheesehead covered with chocolate, covered with bacon, with butterscotch sauce. That's what he dreams at night. He's laying in bed and he dreams that he's covered in all of that. I swear that's what he does. And he says, I thought that tooth was missing to put your smoke in. Uh-huh. Yeah. It keeps the smoke where it belongs. I told a couple of folks that I was doing some wilderness camp skills training with. They said, that's odd. I said, oh, that's intentional. And they said, why? And I said, that's how I tighten knots on the end of paracord. And I could put just a loose overhand knot on the end of a piece of paracord, toss it in my mouth between those two teeth, and I pulled it tight, give it a good yank, and I took it out. I said, there you go. There's a nice tight knot. They all looked at me just serious, like, oh my God. And I said, don't any of you go knocking a tooth out just so you can do that. I said, it's just convenient, you know. People believe anything, you know. AK Driller says the rich is what gets me also. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, Driller, because I tell you what, the taste is, the initial taste is great. But then the richness of it, just like, oh, wow. Yeah, it's too much. Hike with Mike says, I'm not a big sweets eater. I like salt, spicy, and carbs. Love my hot sauces. I put hot sauce in my hot chocolate, black coffee, and a dash on vanilla ice cream. I tell you what, you're a hardcore hot saucer. I know a few folks that are just, yeah, they're right there with you. They just got to have their hot sauce on everything. I like hot sauce. I like some bite. I don't like it too overboard, but not with sweet. Yeah, no. Yeah, the ice cream. I don't know. I just, you know, but Sty'll eat just about anything except chicken feet. You'd have to go back and look at my old video titled I Can't Eat That to see what Sty just can't eat. And he says, I got a friend who loves hot foodstuffs. Bought him some death cap. 15 million Scoville units. Sheesh. Hey, I had a buddy out in Montana. He had this little tin can with a screw-on top. And it looked like a pepper can with just a cap, a screw-on metal cap. And he said, I was looking at it, I go, what in the world is that? Because it's got some foreign language on it. And he says, that's cayenne pepper. I said, you gotta be kidding. He goes, no, that's cayenne pepper. He says, I got that in Africa when I was over there. Somewhere near Egypt, anyway. And he said, I've had that can of cayenne now for about 12 years. I said, what, it ain't no good? He goes, oh, it's excellent. He says, but he says, I make a 5-gallon stock pot of chili. He says, he says, what I do is I'll take a toothpick. And he said, I just dampen the toothpick. He says, so it's moist. And I stick it in that can, pull it out, and he says, you knock off the powder, and you can see that it's just slightly coated, and he drops that toothpick in that pot of chili. And he says, and that's all I need for bite. I said, that's BS. Well, he made a pot of chili while we were there visiting him, and I watched him do it. And he dropped that in, and he didn't add any other pepper, any peppers at all into it. And he used just a small amount of chili powder. Oh my gosh. 3-alarm fire. He said he watched a guy, when he bought that can over there in Africa, he watched a guy take a toothpick, dip it in there, stick it in his mouth, pull it out. And he said they had to do, they ended up doing a trach on the guy. A trach. Because his esophagus swelled shut. I said, you're nuts. That stuff ain't right. AK says, flavor, not torture. Have you watched some of those ghost chili vids? Oh, yeah. She said, Carolina Chris ain't right in the head either. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Carolina Chris is just going way over. Yeah. Hey, Andy says, 13 million. Sorry, it wasn't 15 million. Oh, I tell you what. I don't care. 13 to 15. If it's 10. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what goes through their minds either there, Andy. He says, geez, I thought it was prerequisite to get in here. Have I been conned again? Yeah. Cheesehead says, yeah, only put hot sauce on food if you can't eat your cooking otherwise. Yeah. Anybody looking, we're going to add some hot sauce to this because if they taste it the way it is, they ain't eating it. Well, I had a cousin down in Texas that told me, he says, you know why you don't find any? He says, why vultures don't eat Texans when they die out in the desert? It's because of all of that Mexicani food they're eating. I said, yeah, I believe it. He says, nothing will touch them. Not the coyotes, not the vultures, nothing, no, they don't want it. They're smarter than that. They won't eat that hot stuff. Ike with Mike says, it's a tradition every Thanksgiving at home. We do the nasal napalm challenge. It's a super strong horseradish. We taste it and we are tearing up and choking. But it is a tradition each year. The things we'll do for the sake of tradition. Yeah, horseradish would be good. My mother used to do that. Us kids, if we got a really bad congestion type cold, she'd give us a teaspoon of coarse horseradish, and she wouldn't let us just swallow it. She'd put it in our mouth and make us chew it. And boy, that'd open us right up. You couldn't say hi to anybody for 2 days. Hi, they're gone. Well, they didn't even say goodbye. Ooh, yeah. Hey, Andy says now horseradish on a juicy beef sandwich is delicious. I wouldn't like it though. Right, Andy. There's nothing I like more than a huge, thick prime rib with some nice horseradish sauce on it. Oh, yeah. I was out in Reno not too many years ago, and I ordered prime rib. And I told them, I said, bring me 2 of them containers of horseradish sauce, and don't bring any of that au jus. And they said, "You gonna eat your prime rib without audio?" I said, "Well, I don't need it." He said, "I just need that horseradish sauce on my prime rib." Yeah. She says, "I gotta take you up to the Delta Diner and try their jalapeno Norwegian pancakes." No, but I do want that stuffed French toast you had. I seen that on Facebook. Darn, that looked good. Oh, dang, that looked good. Oh, yeah. I haven't been to the Delta Diner in several years. I gotta get down there, yeah. Cheesehead says, "I don't like peppers." And I don't like peppers. But you like them pancakes, huh? Horseradish cheese slices are awesome. Yeah, horseradish cheese slices are great. If you're making a roast beef sandwich or something, those cheese slices are really good, huh? Huh. They caramelize and become a sweet heat. That's now you're making me wonder there, Cheesehead. Oh, dang it. Mike makes a spicy bell pepper dish. I call it Hell's Bells. That's good. That's good. Yeah, AK, we got a couple cheese houses up here in northern Wisconsin. You can get the horseradish cheese slices. Cheesehead says, "Nope, no peppers." That's a shame, Cheesehead, because I make awesome stuffed green peppers. And he says, "Ground pork, ground shrimp, a little garlic, and finely chopped onions layered on fry bread and dunked in between beaten egg. They fry them meat side down." Jeez. This is turning into a cooking show. We're getting all these recipes, guys. Stein's gonna go down in history as having one heck of a cooking live stream. You should check that out. Yeah, AK, that's what I've been saying all night. They've been doing this to me all night. And, yeah. Yeah, she says nope, he doesn't. Stuffed peppers, no. AK says, "Okay, off to raid the pantry." I don't blame you. And Cheesehead says, "Okay, wife says it's time to go to bed. I'll talk to you later." And yeah, I'll talk to you later, Chris. Hey, thanks, buddy. It was great that you came in on the front end and came back in right around the middle and stuck with us all the way through. That was great. Thank you very much. Hey, guys, gotta let you all go. I'm going to have to shut this down. We're at the 3.5 hour mark. That's the longest stream Sty's ever done. And that's supposed to be just a special stream. This was a surprise stream. Boy, it was a surprise. It went a long time. And I want to thank every single one of you guys for showing up tonight. And I'm going to close the stream out with a couple of flashes of what my next couple of streams are. And Andy, oh, well, first Hike with Mike says, "Sty, do a cooking live stream. You can call it Sty fries, Wisconsin fish fry. Well, that's not such a bad idea down the road here. And Andy said, did I even mention well-hung venison? We'll get on venison the next time. Oh, Sty can go down that road. Oh, yeah. AK, you have a good evening. Hike with Mike, you have a good evening. Andy, all of you, absolutely great. I hope you all have a good night. And like I said, my next stream is Saturday night at 7 p.m. If you can't make it, that's fine. I have a video coming up Monday. I'll have one coming up next Thursday. And my very next stream after this weekend will be all the way out till Saturday. There won't be any snuck in the middle like this one. And then we're back. Then on that Sunday, that following Sunday, the 7th, we will... The stream on the 6th, on Saturday the 6th, will not start until 10:15 p.m. Central Time, because that's when I walk in the door from work. And that's my retirement stream. I'm retiring, and if I got one viewer, I'm keeping that bugger going until I just can't take it anymore. So, it's great. Everybody have a very good night. And thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight at the Sty Shack. And as I always say, Sty Shack's open to everyone. We're all here just to have a good time. So until the next one, guys, we'll see you then.